Okay, this is the discussion where we talk about Little Nightmares, developed by Tarsier Studios. Initial release date April 28th, 2016, cost $20 or your regional equivalent. Platform originally released for the Xbox and PlayStation, Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and also PC. Yeah, we can introduce ourselves. I'm not sure what the order shows up.
Can you just say the quick description of the game?
Oh, yeah. I don't actually have that up.
I got it here. The description of Little Nightmares is: immerse yourself in Little Nightmares, dark, whimsical tale that will confront you with your childhood fears. Help 6 escape the Maw, a vast, mysterious vessel inhabited by corrupted souls looking for their next meal.
And the one from the Wikipedia page says, Little Nightmares is a puzzle platformer horror adventure game developed by Tarsier Studios and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment. For Microsoft, Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, the game received generally positive reviews upon release, with critics praising the atmosphere, graphics, sound, and storyline, but criticism was aimed at the game's checkpoint system, long load times, and short length. Which, all of that I can agree with, for the most part.
Yeah.
Let's introduce ourselves.
All right. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, I'm Zach. And should we give like a kind of what we thought of it?
Yeah.
Starting off. I really liked it. I thought it was really immersive. I really liked the sound design and art, and I thought it was super creepy. Like, yeah, I'll talk more about that later, but I really enjoyed it, even if it was a little bit short.
Yep. Yeah, I'm Nick, and I thought I really liked it. I had some problems with like controls, but not too much. And it really felt like a darker, grittier world of Spirited Away, the anime. Just totally felt like that. Ow.
I'm Allie, and my general thought of the game is I thought it was good. I think my favorite was just the like atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And the characters, I mean, kind of cute.
Adorable.
Yeah.
I just found out it's female.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she has a name, but
her name's 6.
And
she's 9 years old, apparently.
But none of this is really like in the game, I don't think.
Yeah. No.
So.
All right. Yeah. So, what did you guys play with? Did you play with a keyboard and mouse or controller?
I think I started out playing with keyboard and mouse, but I played most of the game with the controller.
Okay.
I used keyboard and mouse.
Keyboard and mouse?
What I'm used to. Easy, it's already plugged in.
Yeah. I also play with keyboard and mouse. I switched up some of the controls because I thought it was really dumb. I couldn't move the camera with the mouse.
Oh, yeah, the mouse was like basically
you had to
useless.
Use the arrow keys.
Yeah, that was
the only thing on the mouse is the left mouse button, which is to grab shit.
Right.
And I thought it was like really dumb to keep moving my hands back and forth because I really like the camera to like see everywhere.
There was some problems I had with the camera, especially in the kitchen area where like you try to pan, but then like a door frame would be in the way.
Yeah,
I think that was purposeful.
Yeah,
maybe.
You kind of don't really want people like looking into another room because then it's like, oh, I always thought going through doors was like super like creepy because you didn't know what was on the other side of it.
Yeah,
I think that's definitely lends to the
you can just like hear shit on the other side.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, sound was just such a big thing with like the janitor. We can talk about that in the story. Although that is kind of gameplay based. Like sound is a big part of the gameplay as well.
Yeah.
At least for that section.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Allie, did you use the camera at all with the arrow keys?
Not really. I mean, like there'd be times where I'd stop and crouch or something, and I'd pan the camera, but then like,
okay,
that was kind of the extent.
I thought I did. I rebound my grab key to my num lock 0,
Oh yeah.
So then
that'd
I
be
could
good.
keep my fingers on the camera and then be able to grab with my pinky and shit. I thought that felt way better. It really made the game a lot better.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
I liked the controller a lot better, just being able to look around with the second stick. I
feel
think
like
that felt a lot better.
It was definitely developed more for the controller.
Definitely.
I think it
I
would
also
be
felt-
good. Like if they just had the painting on the mouse. That's like it. I think it would have been way better.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't do that. It's so weird.
Yeah, it definitely feels a little bit like the PC port was definitely of not that much importance, because I think the reason Marcus isn't here is because he wasn't able to finish the game because he was playing it on a laptop with a odd resolution. Basically, if you're not playing it with like at 1080p, it just fucks everything up apparently.
Interesting.
I didn't really have that problem, but yeah, the problem I had with it is when I alt tabbed out of it, it basically froze the game and I wasn't able to get back into it. I wasn't even able to like get the Control Alt Delete panel up to end it, so I basically had to like shut down my computer.
Oh
Oh
shit.
jeez.
Yeah, but that only happened like twice, I think.
For me, the alt tabbing was really slow. Like if I wanted to look something up in like alt tab, it would take like 30 seconds or something.
Oh jeez. Yeah, I had no problem. Though I also have a solid state. Do you guys have solid states?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I put it on it though.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I think my Steam library is on my hard drive.
And then the one issue that I thought like really hindered my experience was I was probably like 1 minute away from the boss and I got this like crash error
Yeah.
and I was just like, wow, now I have to like start over at this level and redo it.
Yeah, that
That was a real bummer.
the Wikipedia page did say something about the checkpoint system, and I definitely noticed that. Like, if you play like Inside and Limbo, both of them have really good checkpoint systems. Like right before like basically anything that can kill you, it'll have a checkpoint. But this game, some parts you die at, and you start the entire area over, which sometimes can be like 10 to 15 minutes.
It was weird. I like for the longest time thought the little light things that you like light up.
Yeah,
All were
I thought that
checkpoints.
too.
But I guess not. It's so weird.
Yeah, something I didn't know is that those little like dolls of the final boss, those are also collectibles, and I didn't know that, so I like missed several of them before I even figured out like you have to break them to get them.
Yeah, I just found that out by luck by messing around with the controls. Let's move on to story. It doesn't seem like there was a super obvious story, but like really tells you with more visuals, I'd say.
Yeah. This kind of ties into one of those tidbits that I mentioned earlier. The original title for this game, when they first started developing it in 2014, was The Hunger.
Yeah.
Or just Hunger. Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yep, I could see why.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really strange. Like I thought it was really cool as Six, your character that you play, like goes throughout and like starts getting really hungry and starts getting pain from it. Yeah. And like eats at first bread, and then later on eats like was it meat that's in a cage?
Yeah, and then like the rat.
And then eats a rat, and I'm just like, oh Jesus, this is crazy.
Hold on, so your characters ate the rat?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you?
Oh God.
Wait, what did you eat?
I feel super bad.
What did you eat?
My character ate the gnome.
Oh, that comes after.
That comes after, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The gnome is like has a sausage and like hands it to you, and then you eat gnome. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why?
I know. I was like, oh my God.
I wasn't sure whether it was like because there's a thing where you like find the gnomes. I'm just gonna call them the gnomes. I'm not really sure what they're called. But I thought that like maybe there's a game mechanic where you actually take the sausage if you like find enough of them and like befriend them or whatever. So I wasn't sure if there was a way I could have like avoided that.
That's hilarious.
I felt super bad after that. I was like, he was
hilarious.
just trying to help.
Oh man. Yeah. But what's your guys' interpretation of the story? Because I feel like there's a lot of interpretation.
I feel like
I kind of spoiled it for myself. I kind of looked up the story.
I didn't look up anything.
You
So
talk
I
less,
was
Zach.
really clueless.
Yeah, I don't know anything either. I just
And I
think.
after playing it, I feel like I still don't really have any idea what the story is.
Do you want me to tell you?
I suppose, yeah.
I'll say like what I'm thinking. I just think like it's far off in the future of humanity, and like the whole world's like flooded over or some shit, and the whole place that you're at is like some man-made island that's anchored down. As you see in some later parts, like when you go outside and you see the ship and people.
Yeah, that was a really cool spot.
And it just seems like an area where people just eat and fuck around and just, I don't know, shit. And does it seem cannibalistic to you guys? I thought it seemed like that. Like when you go through one area where there's like a bunch of sleeping children, and it's just like, what the fuck is this area?
Yeah, I almost
And
thought
later
that
on,
they
you
were,
go into a slaughterhouse, like cooking kitchen.
I almost thought they were like raising the children to like eat them.
Yeah. And like it feels like you're playing as one of the kids and you're trying to get the fuck out.
Right, yeah, that's what I was maybe thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then like that lady just rules the place, or some shit, and then go kill her. I don't know. But Zach, tell us.
Okay. I kind of want to bring up the YouTube video to see if anybody's watching, but if anybody is watching, this is like heavy spoiler territory. But so basically, yeah, we've already said a couple of things, like you play as a young girl named Six. You're on a ship called the Maw. And basically you... What?
It is a ship?
Yes, it is a ship.
Okay. It looks so weird.
Yeah, the DLC is actually called Secrets of the Maw.
Oh shit.
But so I'm not sure how 100% accurate this story is, but basically it has that you are actually the daughter of the lady that runs the ship. I forget what her name is. And she like banished you to the depths of the ship because she's incredibly vain. It's why she wears the geisha mask and why she smashes every window. No, not window, mirror that is around her, and why basically the mirror kills her. And basically you, by eating her, absorb her power. And I think the story kind of goes that she is like fattening up all those people so that she can absorb their life force eventually.
Just like what you do at the end.
Yep, pretty much. And I think it also said like those gnomes were either like really malnourished children or basically inhabitants of the ship. I think I have more of this. Also, this isn't really a spoiler, but there is a pre-game story comic coming out.
Oh.
And that is the extent that I know.
All right. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. What's next on the list?
I think we should... Yeah, I think we should go into the gameplay, because the gameplay is actually very story influenced. Like,
yeah.
The gameplay is really like based off of the enemies in that area. It's really based off of the environments. It's what I really like about games like this.
What I feel like they went for is like a heavily scripted, like horror game. Like, cause you notice like as points, like you go through and like all of a sudden a monster like hears you or something, like, you know, like,
yeah,
oh, it's because I only got this so far away. Like they want you to sequence, do a chase sequence or some shit to like scare you a little bit and pump you up. And I feel like they pulled it off really well. Because like triggering those events doesn't mean like you fucked up and died all of a sudden. You only die if you do fuck up while like running somewhere.
Yeah.
So I think like they handled that really well.
Mm-hmm. It's also just very, like, the imagery is just really creepy. Like, it was, when I first started playing, it was really dark and I was kind of intoxicated, and it was super menacing. Like, it was before I even got to like an enemy or something that could kill me, and just the atmosphere and like the creepiness of like, oh, I don't know what's gonna like come out at me or whatever. It's just very menacing.
Yeah, one of the like beginning parts areas is like when you go into a room and it's pretty brightly lit and you see a chair there and then a person just hanging.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Definitely loved like the buildup of that. And then also when the camera pulls out at certain angles and like shows one of the weird long armed creatures dragging like a crate across a bridge.
Yeah. Or like even something as simple as like when you go into that room with the electrocuted bars and you see something moving, but it's just like a train going around a track.
Yeah.
And you just slowly realize like this is a kid's room and there's like electrocuted bars on the doors.
Did you go through that whole room while it was dark, or did you stay around and explore while the lights came back on?
I think I explored a little bit.
I did too. I like went on the little teeter-totter thing.
I knocked over the train.
Yeah. It's really cool.
One of the things I liked was like the handprints and like marks on the floor. They weren't also like, they were just like, not only were they decorations, you know, to set the atmosphere, but they also were usually hints like drag this to this spot.
Uh-huh.
So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, the puzzle aspects of this game, I'd say were really difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
It like wasn't always obvious. Like I totally forgot that I could grab and pull something. Like so, I was stuck at this one part where it was a wooden boarded up, and you're supposed to grab the wood and pull it out. I was just like stuck in that area. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Like, I think none of this seemed really difficult to me, but like a lot of the puzzles I recognized were like almost the exact same as some of the puzzles from Inside. Except it was like more 3D.
Yeah.
Than Inside.
Yeah.
It's hard to do puzzle games like with platformers, like you just unless you had some sort of gimmick.
Mm-hmm. I also really liked the sound with the janitor, because like the janitor is blind and you basically need to...
Is that the long-armed guy?
Yeah, that's the... I think he's called the janitor.
Okay, well that's a good name anyways.
Yep. But yeah, he's blind, so basically you need to use like sound to distract him, and he also like, if you walk on carpets, he doesn't hear you, and if you walk on the boards, he sees you, and it's just...
Yeah, it's creepy. He's got like that weird ass half mask or something.
I wasn't actually sure, but I'm not actually sure if like the chefs and the janitor are human, and they're just like...
No, they're like wearing some sort of costume, because I totally see their hands going up into their neck, like...
Yeah, I noticed that too. It's almost like they have like a rubber mask on or something.
Yeah.
Or
it's like, are they still fat under there or some shit?
Yeah, I don't know. It'll probably be explored in the DLC. I don't know.
Yeah. But with the janitor thing, oh my god, one of the scariest, most intense things that I thought about him, like when you like run past him onto the elevator and he comes onto the elevator with you and like goes up it.
Yeah.
And you're just hiding in a little box that's like his hands real close to you, and it's just like, oh shit. Really loved that. It's really cool.
I loved when you're like, it's kind of the final thing where it's like it's kind of a reoccurring mechanic where you'll have this big area that you'll go through, and there will probably be like some kind of enemy like patrolling that area, and then you get some kind of item, and then you got to go through that area again with the item, which makes it a lot more difficult because the item's heavy and you move slower. And and also there was and also like the area with the janitor where you got to get the crank so you can lift the piano.
I loved that you had to climb all sorts of shit, like climb all this luggage, and like climb over a piano, climbing on top of tables full of food and shit to grab the keys. I thought it was really cool to like really emphasize that you're a little character and like you can do this shit, like hide underneath shelves and all that.
Yeah.
Seemed really cool.
I also like that's kind of what I liked about the art style, because it was all the stuff is like very exaggerated and cartoony, but not like in a nice cartoony way, like in a very kind of creepy cartoony way.
My favorite puzzle was the one in the kitchen where you have to like put the meat in the meat grinder and make the little sausages.
Oh yeah.
I really like that. It was creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Swinging around sausages.
You put the meat in the thing and it comes down and it's like
Grind it, yeah. I want to talk about a little about the attention of detail and their use of sound.
Yeah, definitely.
I really loved like even like the littlest things, like you see some pipe dripping with water and you go underneath it and like you hear the water dripping on you and it's like sounds like of a raincoat. You're wearing a raincoat.
Yeah.
And it just like sounds really good, nice and soft. And just running around with the pitter patter of your feet, and tripping over cans, like it sounds really good and crisp sound, like echoing through.
Yeah. Sound is like really important to horror games.
Mm-hmm.
In particular, just because so much of a horror game, especially one that doesn't rely super heavily on jump scares, which this game didn't have too many just jump scares.
There's like some things where like arms come through holes or some shit that just but like
something comes through a door.
Yeah, when anything comes through like a door or something that comes through slow, like it totally warns you.
Yeah.
Example, like an elevator came down with an enemy in it, but like you totally heard them beforehand.
Yeah, like every enemy has the sound that you alerted them. Like
yeah,
the chefs have their like squeal, and the janitor has like the kind of
just
thing.
Like freaks out. I'm like, oh shit, run!
The scariest enemy sound is the boss lady when you're creeping behind her and she's sitting at the vanity.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know you couldn't run, so I started running. And then she turns around, I'm like, oh my god.
She like force chokes you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the subtlety where like when she was humming the song, when you like sneak faster at the end there.
Yeah,
when you break,
was very creepy for me, like when you go into the room and you like get whatever you need and you go back out and she's just gone.
Yeah, you break the vase and you get the key and like you hear her go and then like go back and she's not there at all. And then the music afterwards is super slow and dark of her humming song. It was the same song she was humming, just like in a different tone.
Did you guys find the room with like the security camera footage in it?
The big eye thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
yeah,
was
it was kind of like a secret.
Yeah, it was kind of a side room that you didn't have to go into.
I probably have. I don't know. Probably wasn't paying attention.
But yeah, I liked the sense of progression from like the first couple of levels. It felt like you were like a prison break, except in reverse. Especially like the part where you're climbing up the like tied together bed sheets that are like out of a like cell window.
Yeah.
It just, and you're like riding the meat hook up into the slaughterhouse and stuff. It all felt very like, I'm doing like this in reverse.
Yeah, the progression of just like you don't see any sort of monsters, like you're just seeing the whole world, and then like you see monsters slowly and like all their food source, and then the people themselves. It was definitely good.
Yeah.
Good.
One thing I didn't that frustrated me a little bit is like most puzzle games have this where you fail over and over and over, and then you just like are like, I'm not even scared anymore. Let just get through this. Like, I had a couple parts like that. One of the main ones was where like you need to run across the table that all the fat people are at.
Oh, yeah.
And if you get close to any of them, they just grab you and eat you.
Yep.
But I always like seemed like I accidentally got too close to one of them and they just grabbed me because it wasn't really clear what their like reach range was.
Yeah, it I totally agree there.
Also, the jump that you had to make after the table was like
Yeah.
kind of weird, and it took me like 2 or 3 tries.
I fell down after I got through, and I was really like upset. I was like, I don't want to run through this again.
There's like some weird jump grabbing where you can't sprint. Like you have to just normal walk while not sprinting and then jump and like grab onto it. I thought it was really weird. Like I could never sprint grab it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the momentum almost like didn't carry you like you would expect physics to. I don't know.
I feel like the whole grab mechanic like is a little wonky. Like it's super hard for me to grab shit.
I would get stuck on like doors and stuff when I was trying to grab them.
Yeah, it's how I died a lot of times when you're supposed to open something to get through or anything like that.
Or like sliding through the little doors sometimes got me if I wasn't like perfectly lined up.
Yeah, that's also hard because it's a fucking control key while you're trying to sprint as well.
Yeah. Also, kind of in the big chase scene at the end of the guest area.
Yeah.
Where you got.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
I thought I liked that. Just like a tsunami of fat people.
Fat people.
Just chasing you. And like, I kind of had to do a couple tries on that, like where you had to like time it to jump at the right times and.
Yeah, I kept failing as well.
Yeah, it was a very cinematic part, and I liked it, but it took a couple of tries.
Yeah, I want to say like one of my favorite things in this game was when you first come out of the ship and you start climbing the anchor chain.
Pans out,
and the camera just slowly pans out, and it just keeps going and going. You just see this massive ship, along with like another cruise ship, right, with a bridge hooked up to it, and the fat people walking onto it.
Yeah.
And you're just climbing that chain, and then the camera just goes back in. Like I thought that was such an awe moment. Like holy shit.
Yeah.
And then as you're like going through that, and you see all the fat people just walking, just like one step at a time. And the music to that.
The music is great.
It was a good build up and like good exposure of like this is what this society is or some shit. It was one of my favorite moments in the game.
I really liked the last like 2 areas. I kind of wish like the first few areas were like that, where it was more story, cinematic, kind of hinting at what you are doing, where you're at, what's going on.
Yeah.
They saved too much of it for the end, in my opinion.
Yeah. It also felt like the last couple of areas were also a lot shorter than the first couple of areas.
They were, yeah.
Which is kind of unfortunate. Because I think those areas were quite a bit more interesting.
Yeah.
I liked
the whole thing.
In the beginning, but I felt like kind of like halfway through, I was like, this is getting a little tedious because I don't have a purpose. You know, I don't know what's going on. Why am I doing this?
Yeah, I get that. Also, something that about the mechanics, the throwing mechanic, like when you had to throw something to hit a button, you have to stand in like the exact right spot and throw it. So it took me like 3 to 5 throws on each one.
There's a little animation cue that tells you. Like when you're carrying an object and you walk up to a button, the animation cue is your character moves his head and looks up at the button.
Oh, okay.
And then that tells you like once you hold down the throw button, like it'll hit it.
All right.
So with like the lock, when you had the key, you had to like get in a certain position, and then it'll do it for you.
Yeah, it'll do its auto animation thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I also just beyond that, I liked the throwing mechanic. Like I liked the final area with the janitor, just throwing shit all over the place to make him like go after that, don't go after me.
Like the little monkeys with the cymbals clapping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are cool. I really loved some more parts like with the janitor, like the whole awesome camera angle where you could see halfway underground, like the underneath the floorboards, and also on top, so you could see the enemy.
Oh yeah.
If you remember, know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just a really cool camera angle that like shows you a lot of information and just I don't know.
Yeah. Also, the final part with him where you're cranking the crank to bring it up, and it's like you hear him like scream, and you're like, "Oh shit, he's coming! Crank faster!"
Yeah. Yeah. Good events that they make.
Mm-hmm.
The ending of the game. Do you guys want to talk about that? Like,
yeah, sure.
Like, I thought it was weird that you fight the boss with a mirror and like you shine the light on her, and then you eat her and absorb her power. I felt to me personally that felt pretty off.
Yeah, it did a little bit.
It didn't fit. And all of a sudden, like you just start walking and just absorb all the fat people and then walk outside. It felt a little not rewarding to see that kind of ending.
I thought it felt cool, like walking down the hallway, just absorbing
cool,
their weight. Yeah. I thought it was a satisfying ending, even if I didn't really get it.
Yeah, I'm not that incredibly disappointed with it, but it's just
I wasn't a huge fan of the final boss fight because it just kind of felt like jump scares, the boss fight.
It was even shitty jump scares at that too.
Yeah, just
you had all the time in the world to shine the light on her. What do you think, Allie?
Yeah, I just think the story needed to be done a little bit better, or just be more apparent, because it just seems like the character that you're playing, it seems like a good, innocent, like cute child, and then when you get to the end and you're eating the gnomes that you've been hugging the whole time, and it just it feels a little bit not quite right.
Yeah.
Surprising, I don't know.
Yeah, so I wouldn't know how I would even go about like doing a different ending for it.
Yeah, one of the reviews said that it doesn't really make you identify with the character, which he wishes the game did, because it seems like a really interesting character. Yeah. And I can kind of agree with that. And a lot of the story stuff, I think they're probably going to expand more on it in the DLC.
Yeah, I definitely look forward to the DLC.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Especially because it's called Secrets of the Maw, so I assume there are going to be some secrets. Also, based on their Twitter, it's confirmed that you play as a young boy named Seven.
Interesting.
In the DLC?
Yes.
Okay.
Is the DLC free?
I would assume not.
I feel like it should be free, because the game's only like 3 hours and it's like $20.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that I was pretty disappointed. I totally felt like the money was justified though. In a way. I totally enjoyed the atmosphere and the whole world of it and playing it.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the game a lot. Whether it's worth $20, I don't know. It doesn't seem like quite long enough of a game to be worth $20, but
I replayed it, so I got about like 5 hours total of it.
Yeah,
so like $4 an hour, not too bad.
Yeah.
And I actually really enjoyed my second playthrough of it because I got to try like go as fast as I could, and I felt like that kind of changed some stuff. It felt cool.
I also just I'm really a sucker for good flavor text, and the flavor text for the achievements I really like for some reason. Like I can read a couple of them. Like I like the one for the achievement hard to the core. What's different about you? Why are you so brave? And just stuff like that. Another one is like for the ladies' quarters, a storm is coming. That coat should come in useful. It's just, yeah, I'm a sucker for good flavor text.
That's pretty good.
Little fox among hungry wolves.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah. What else can you guys think of? It's a very short game, so
yeah.
And like, there's not a whole lot of mechanics besides like grabbing, pulling, and swinging.
Yeah, it's kind of grabbing, pulling, interacting with stuff, and picking up and throwing stuff. And they do a lot with that, like from boss fights to avoiding shit, and
it's like primary.
They do a lot with that.
Can you think of anything, Allie?
Oh, I don't know. I think we kind of touched base on pretty much everything.
Yeah, my list is checked out. I wish we had a couple more people with their opinions.
Yeah, a little bit more variety.
Oh, the animation. I have to say, whoever did the animations for this game, like the people who made them, just like, well done. Like,
yeah, animation is very nice.
It's very good. Like, you can totally feel the disgustingness of the fat people as they eat food. And as you get near them and they're like trying to grab at you.
And the little like worm grub things that they're eating, and they're like shoving them up their nose to eat them and stuff.
Speaking of worm grubs, those like leech things at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, those are interesting.
Yeah, did you read anything about that black shit? Is it like similar to a power? Because I found a room and there's just a huge black puddle underneath the bed.
Oh, that's right.
I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, it was like you kind of had to go out of your way.
You can jump on the bed.
Yeah, and there's like a little doll there to break.
I think there's like a hand on the wall or something.
Yeah.
There's the achievement for jumping on the bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what that black shit is or what's up with the slugs.
Yeah, it wasn't really explained, and it was only in the beginning, so I don't really know what its purpose was.
Yeah. Do you know, Zach?
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Not even in the information you looked up?
Nope.
It feels similar to the black shit, like when you're sucking out the fat people at the end of the game. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe I'm grasping at straws, but who knows?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to checking out the comic book that they're releasing. I think it's really interesting when not all of the story is actually included in the game. Like, I really like the game Darkest Dungeon because for each one of the characters that they have a comic strip explaining the character's backstory, and they're all super. I really like the art for it, and they're all very well done and
nice. That's like what Overwatch does. Like, they'll have hints and voice lines and shit through the game, but they have they write a bunch of comics and shit.
Yeah, like that Tracer's gay.
Yeah.
One thing that I thought was kind of interesting is towards the end you could kind of tell that there was Japanese influence and the wooden doors and stuff.
That's why it totally feels like it was like Spirited Away.
But in the beginning, yeah, totally with the fat people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with all the food and the eating.
Yeah, and the whole the bathhouse totally reminds me of that last part.
Yeah. Well, in the beginning of the game, there was no signs of that, and it was just completely different, atmospherically from the ending.
You totally do definitely feel like a castaway child. Just out in there, cold place. All right, I don't have anything else really to say about the game. I really enjoyed it. The only issues I had were just controls, honestly.
Yeah.
We're a little awkward.
I think I would probably recommend waiting until it's on sale to get it. If
Definitely.
It's on sale right now for $25, which $15 I still
Yeah, I'd say like $7 is probably a good number for me. Like,
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I
Like
think
a
I think
like a
around
movie ticket.
$10 would be my ideal price for this.
I would definitely say like a movie ticket, because that's about how long the game is. And
yeah,
yeah,
that's a good way.
definitely
Like
definitely does.
$10 to $15 sounds like a better price range for this.
Yeah.
But I also had a great time with it, and I'm looking forward to the DLC and the comic book, and it definitely feels like the story is very interesting, the world is very interesting, and I definitely want to learn more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if that is about where we're done with it, I'll stop the broadcast.
Yeah, I think we've covered everything.